A very warm welcome to UBC Lunchtime News. It is the 20th day of October 2021. I'm Lorene Masika Kazimoto. Now we start off with our first headlining story this afternoon. And in a move to end violence against children, the non-government organization Fighting Rights for Children, Raising Voices, has launched 3 weeks educating the public on protecting and defending children's rights. Launching this campaign, Commissioner Cleophas Mugenyi from the Ministry of Education says it is everyone's responsibility to promote children's rights.
The 2020 police report indicated that on cases reported, violence against children was ranked in the third position with 21% out of 100 cases that were reported. Raising Voices, the non-government organization on children's rights, have embarked on educating people on how to promote rights of children. Commissioner Cleophas Mugenyi from the Ministry of Education at the launch appeals to every stakeholder to raise voice in defending rights, especially for the girl child.
We need to join hands to ensure that the schools where our learners will be returning are safe for them to enjoy learning.
He condemns relatives that have used the opportunity of the lockdown to engage in sexual affairs with children while at home.
We reiterate our commitment to preventing violence against children and also call upon all Ugandans to always act when they see violence happening to a child.
In some regions, there is perpetuation of violence from one generation to another generation. Have you ever asked yourself? And people are talking about development. They want development places. They say, give us a city. What type of city are you going to have with people who have witnessed violence and therefore are going to be what? Violent themselves?
Hassan Molusi from Raising Voices in charge of schools says they have a hope that by the end of this 3 weeks campaign on promoting children's rights, they are expecting fruits.
These homes were previously perceived safe for children, but today it's the reverse. Homes have become violent places, unsafe places, and scary places for our children.
We should have a linkage between us talking about the children and making sure that the family is actually empowered. They have the resources, they have the information, and they are ready to parent. I think that is a discussion that we need to take forward.
Lydia Wasula, on behalf of Ministry of Gender, advocates to parents to protect children in this period while at home due to COVID lockdown.
Children who experience violence also ultimately become violent when they grow up. So those households where you see interpartner violence, intimate partner violence, it's as a result of the upbringing.
This campaign is intending to reach in 100 districts of Uganda with high amount of violence against children. Jane Ngaramchisha, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
Now, weeks after the formation of the People's Front for Transition or Red Card movement by Dr. Kizza Besigye, critics and analysts look at the framers of the agenda, yet many political parties have either denounced it. Our reporter Robert Onyango assesses where the bloc framers could have lost it.
On 7th October 2021, four-time presidential candidate Dr. Kizza Besigye made yet another political return as he launched the fifth political pressure group of his political career. From the 4GC, People's Government, and now to the People's Front for Transition, the move has ignited debates and reactions.
NRM has just been re-elected to serve the people of Uganda for 5 years. And all issues related to transition were sorted out in the Constitution.
Dr. Kizza Besigye fronted himself as the captain of the new team to draw across all political opposition parties. Many of his critics have picked it.
He wants to remove the NRM administration before the term expires and without the use of force. Then I totally don't understand what exactly he's talking about.
Politics of personalities have overshadowed political parties, and the political parties are just trying to find what they are.
Will it deliver positions and solutions for Uganda's opposition to unite for a common cause?
When you are in a position of strength, you say it must be me to head. You don't look at other factors. That is not only with NUP, that also was with FDC. When people were saying Amama Mbabazi is in a best position to win the election. And the FDC said it is either us or nothing.
Though the front framers initially claimed bringing all political parties on board, DP, UPC and National Unity Platform have kept a distance from the red casket.
Others responded, others did not. When we were told about the idea of the front, we said yes, we welcome the idea, but we shall not join.
If the objectives of NUP are not consistent with the pressure, with the objectives of the pressure group, they are perfectly within their rights to say, no, we will not come, and we cannot blame them for that.
Dan Ogalo, one of the FDC founding members, also renowned city lawyer, blames the current political standoff between FDC and other forces of change like a National Unity Platform to unattended past mistakes.
A party like a FDC, if it learns from the mistakes it has made, and it has made several, if it learns from those, it can be built into a far more powerful party than it is today.
NUP will have to bargain for its presence in any coalition or pressure group before joining it. So what is the next version?
We have said we are not joining. We are very clear on that. But that doesn't mean that we cannot work together with our colleagues. We certainly have every reason to work with them for as long as the aspirations are the same, and that is pursuing change in our country. You remember, yes, we have had the People Power movement, there was People's Government. People's Government did not join us and neither did we join them, but we worked together. And so the important thing is unity of purpose, not so much as being under one roof.
But what about the transition agenda?
The problem of the opposition is ideological disorientation. They wake up without proper ideas and get up to say, let us get rid of President Museveni.
If you are going to go out to start educating people, then really you're not talking about, seriously, you're not talking about a transition. You are talking about mobilization.
I've looked at the Constitution, I've looked at the Electoral Commission Act, I've looked at the Presidential Elections Act, I have not come across a provision that you shall have maybe transition. I don't know about that.
Weeks have passed since the bloc formation by a person whose sympathizers refer to as the opposition face wall. The fact remains that so far there is no positive impact as the agenda largely remains unknown, prompting even blind analysts to conclusively say this is Dr. Kizza Besigye's another premature political death. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
The World Food Programme is devising all available options to ensure the fight against malnutrition in Karamoja and support available refugee settlements is achieved. Take a look.
Flooding, just giving small heads like this.
Moroto district has been going through a hunger crisis for some time. This was due to the insecurity where people could not access their gardens and climate change, which resulted into poor harvests due to crop failure. Moroto leaders raised concern over hunger in the region to the relevant authorities. Over 20 people were reported to have died in Moroto district in the past month.
Now in the districts of Moroto we have registered deaths, especially of the elderly people. Good number of our grown-up persons in the villages are dying. We already have records of about 24 elderly persons that have died in Moroto district.
The district has finally got food relief from Office of the Prime Minister,
whereby the OPM has supplied food supply worth 100 tons of maize flour and 30 tons of beans to the entire district. We thank the OPM, we thank the President for this fulfillment.
The food was transported by World Food Programme. Moroto municipality leaders called upon government for more food relief, especially during this disarmament period.
Exercise, I know we are going to be faced with a lot of challenges. People may fail to go to the gardens because of these criminals. But however, government is under control. It's under control. All parameters are taken care. Definitely we will go through and the disarmament exercise will be successful. So I'm appealing government to continue supporting us during this disarmament period.
Residents District Commissioner James Shilaku urged leaders not to divert relief to well-off people, but focus on the vulnerable like the elderly, mothers, among others.
Then others will get later on as we get more food. I appeal to the CAO to ensure as supervisors and sub-county chief that this food is not diverted but delivered to its beneficiaries.
Entebbe Municipal Council has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nile Basin Discourse aiming at providing a framework for cooperation between the parties in areas of common interest. Nile Basin Discourse is a strategic and operational network of civil society organizations set up to influence development projects and processes in 10 countries, including Uganda.
Our engagement basically is in line with the government policy, where all the private non-profit organizations are supposed to work with us in the areas of operation, so that we understand what they do, because most of them complement what government does. Particularly the Nile Basin Discourse. I think it's a consortium of different organizations that basically work in the basin, the Nile Basin, the regions where the River Nile traverses. That's Burundi, Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, to ensure that there is a peaceful coexistence of the communities in this area, but also to ensure that the use of the Nile is in line with the different agreed upon treaties and protocols.
These memorandums are renewed every 5 years. So we have like a current one running for 5 years with the Nile Basin Initiative. But our mandate also is autonomous. We work together, but we have the autonomy because we bring in the grassroots communities, engaging the grassroots communities and linking them to governments and intergovernmental organizations. That is where our niche is. So we create platforms where we can listen to communities, talk about the issues, emerging issues on any projects, any policies, and bring in governments also to give their policies and any programs that are being formulated to make sure that these programs reach the communities and awareness is created.
Now, government has been asked to extend clean sources of water to people living in slums affected by diseases associated with poor hygiene. This was a call made by the woman member of parliament, Wakiso District, Honorable Betty Narima, during the launch of boreholes in Nsumbi Village, Wakiso District.
Girls, especially women, when we are menstruating, we badly need water. When our young girls are having any issues, we badly need water. If you talk about maternal matters, we badly need water. But it needs all of us now to stand firm. It needs everyone to know that we have to safeguard water like not the way they have been having. Actually, we've condemned one water source. It should be entirely closed, and we've tasked the LCs. They should ensure that no more fetching of water on that very source.
And also discovered many women are being affected. They're getting infections from this unsafe water. They have infections each time they are down with typhoid, and then it's also costing every man in the family, because if your man and your woman is sick, of typhoid, you won't rest. You can't go to work when your woman is sick. So you end up leaving work, you end up spending the savings you have to take this woman in the hospital for treatment, even your children. So we discover that every community deserves to have safe and clean water.
Request the community to ensure that the sanitation closer to this borehole is taken care of, so that they don't construct pit latrines closer to this borehole. We request them that they come to us so that we advise them on the technologies that can be put closer to this, so that they don't contaminate the water source here.
Now, local leaders and residents of Chisinga and Mukunyu sub-counties, Bukonzo East in Kasese district, are crying foul over a broken bridge that connects the two communities, affecting transport. Now, this attracted the attention of the Executive Director, Uganda National Roads Authority, Ms. Allen Kajina, who was inspecting the progress of infrastructural maintenance in the district. Take a look.
Here is to see what solution can we design in the interim and in the longer term. And based on the advice from the engineers that we have come with, there is perhaps a solution that we can deploy maybe in the next 1 month or so, perhaps even less, because we have some contracts already signed along this road, and we want to see how we can prioritize this particular bridge so that we keep the route open. And yeah, so we've seen the condition of the bridge. The residents are very unhappy, but want to commit to you that we are going to restore this connection.
Well, UBC Lunchtime News takes a short break, but we'll return with more stories. Keep it locked.
Uganda, today is a great day to work towards your dreams. Dial *185 *7# and select savings to save as low as 500 Ugandan shillings on regular savings or 250,000 Ugandan shillings for fixed deposits. Airtel Money Super Saver is powered by KCB Bank Uganda. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless. T's and C's apply.
Vaccinated today so we can get closer to the normal way of life. Echa COVID-19 chija kugwa.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Connect your home online with MTN WakaNet Max, a fast and reliable home internet solution to power your streaming, gaming, online classes, work, and CCTV security cameras. The MTN WakaNet Max starter kit comes with a free 4G router, SIM card, and 35 GB bundle with no validity, all at 245,000 Uganda shillings. Visit any MTN service center to sign up.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back from that break. And now into business news. Africa's insurance industry is recovering from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic with a focus on accelerating innovation. Continental industry players will discuss issues on industry development, key emerging risks and challenges in this year's International Insurance Conference.
Initially, you could hardly hear of insurance of a pandemic. No. And most of the products, most of the insurances, policies used to exclude it. Today, COVID is insured.
Themed Innovative Insurance Solutions to Emerging Risks. The virtual conference, slated for 20th and 21st of this month, will focus on the topics such as health, new challenges and innovations, the future of work, and new business models.
Today we are hearing of the online platforms that are coming up. When you're buying motor third party now, you no longer have to go to those stations because you can now pay. You pay online. We are seeing lots of other products that are coming up. And we believe these products are coming up because of the discussions that we've had.
The insurance sector has adopted innovative approaches to maintain and serve customers and stay afloat amidst the disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The world has evolved, the risks have evolved, and even risk management has also evolved. Technology is a major driver, like Sol mentioned. Today, one of the biggest threats we have is the cyber attacks because of the use of technology. That calls for innovation on the side of insurance. Businesses have got to continue, but they rely on insurance to mitigate whatever risk may arise. Technology is a big driver to providing solutions.
The International Insurance Conference, hosted by the Insurance Training College, will highlight the extent of key emerging risks in the industry, challenges, and their impact on risk profiling. Charlotte Amuge and Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate their 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
And now into our international news. Thousands of pro-military protesters rallied in central Khartoum on Saturday, vowing not to leave until the government is dissolved in a threat to Sudan's transition to civilian rule. The protest comes as Sudanese political reels from divisions among the factions steering the rocky transition from 2 decades of dictatorship under President Omar al-Bashir, who was ousted by the army in April 2019 following weeks of mass protests. We have more.
The protesters want the Prime Minister to dismiss the now ruling transitional government.
We want this government to be dissolved and appoint a new government with technocrats to lead the country during the transitional period. We want a real change.
The demonstrations morphed into a sit-in around the presidential palace.
Our main demand in this sit-in is to take down Hamdok's government as it failed in securing good living for people. It failed in providing security or proper health and education. We want a new government to fulfill our demands.
Some political analysts say these rallies have worsened the political crisis.
The rallies that are supporting the military and the ones supporting the civilians are complicating the scene in a country that suffers a fragile transition. The solution is to discuss more and to raise the voice of wisdom between the rulers.
A constitutional draft was signed between the generals and the civilian leaders in August 2019, after the military toppled the longtime President Omar al-Bashir. The draft calls for elections in 2022. But when rebel groups signed a peace agreement with the new government, that agreement called for extending the transitional period. The Prime Minister says elections will be held in 2 years. But protesters say they don't want to wait that long for change to take place.
While the protesting groups here want the military to take over power, other pro-democracy groups demand the generals adhere to the power-sharing draft and hand over to a civilian rule.
Now in India has reopened to fully vaccinated foreign tourists traveling on chartered flights in the latest easing of its coronavirus restrictions as infection numbers decline. Foreign tourists on regular flights will be able to enter India starting from November 15th, officials have said.
Mehrajuddin is ready to roll out the red carpet for foreign tourists to India. International travellers have accounted for over 90% of his business over the 20-plus years that he's run this premium carpet and handicraft store in one of the top areas for tourists in Mumbai.
Since 2 years, no tourists are coming, no visa, airport are closed, everything is closed, tourists are not coming here.
To boost tourism, the first 500,000 tourist visas are being issued without any fee. In 2019, nearly 11 million foreign tourists visited India, generating revenues of about $30 billion. Now, after over a year and a half of border restrictions and